Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to play a fingerstyle version of Bridge Over Troubled Water. There is a performance video of this song. If you haven't seen it, you can have a look at the link in the description. That's what we're going to learn. I have a tab for this song. What I would advise at the moment is don't download the tab, simply watch this tutorial video. Now I'm hoping to be able to convey most of the information that you need to learn this song in this tutorial video. Once you have watched it, download the tab, and that's just going to keep you right, remind you of any chord shapes that you need to execute, and having watched the tutorial, you've really done a lot of the work, so it will be far more easy to play this piece with the tab in front of you once you've watched the tutorial to the end. I'm going to go through this tutorial fairly fast. I'm not going to take any prisoners. You will need to pause now and again to go through some of the things I've explained, but I'm going to rattle through it and get the job done. Hopefully it's going to be an efficient way of conveying the information. Please let me know if it works for you in the comments. Give me some feedback. Enjoy learning this piece, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so let's get started. I've chosen extreme close-up view of the fretboard. I hope this is a good way to convey the information that follows. Diving straight in, the very first phrase, fairly easy. We play the G string and the D string. We play two open G strings, and then a little run on the D string, which is 4th fret, 2nd fret, open string. I sometimes play this with pull-offs. I sometimes play it with pull-offs and a pick, or you can play it all picked, whichever you prefer. And that's the opening melody line. After that, we form a D chord. We play the top 3 strings only, G, B, E, and then we form the top half of a G chord, and we play the top 4 strings from the D string up. The next part of the melody is an open G string, 2nd fret on the G string, 4th fret on the D string, and then we repeat our D chord and our G chord. So we play the D chord twice, top 3 strings, and then we play the G chord. And that's the opening 4 bars. I'll play those all together. So there we go. Okay, now for the next section, we're playing the D, G and B string. We play them all open. Then we fret the 1st fret of the B string, we fret the 2nd fret of the D string, and then we release those to play the 3 open strings again. Then we are moving on to the chord shape, which involves 2nd fret, E string, open D string, 2nd fret, A string, and the melody note is 3rd fret on the B string, like so. And then we move on to what's a G chord, 3rd fret of the E string, and open D, G and B strings. The melody note is repeated on the B string. So I kind of flew through that bit quite fast. Let's just have a look again. So we've got the 3 open strings, D, G, B, and then we 1st fret, 2nd fret, open strings again. And then we have 2nd fret, open D, 2nd fret, reach for the melody note, which is on the B string, 3rd fret, and then we play a G, partial G chord. You don't separate it like that, you play it all together. And then the melody note is repeated on the B string. And that's that section. Now the way I played it and the way the tab is differs slightly from the performance. In the performance, when I play this chord here, I I then just pluck the chord as an arpeggio just to fill that bar out before hitting the melody note. Exactly the same in the next bar. I pluck these open strings before hitting the melody note again. So that's the only difference. The tab is a slight simplification. Next part we land on what is a D power chord, and then we play the 4th fret and the open D string, just like that. After that section we have top half of a G chord, playing the top 4 strings, D chord, back to the G chord. Now I'm choosing to play most of my D chords just with the top 3 strings. It doesn't really matter if you add the D note in as in a full D chord. Personal preference, choose which one that you prefer. Now I shall play it from the very first bar through to where we're at, just so we've got a little overview of what's happening. So that's what we've covered so far. Now the next section is played on the A string and the D string, A string and D string. We play the 5th fret A string, 4th fret D string. Then we slide that down to the 4th fret and the 2nd fret. Then we slide it down to the 2nd fret, open string, and back to the previous chord, 4th fret, 2nd fret. It's like an upside down power chord. Now this shape we're going to feature again, this upside down power chord shape. So I'll play that whole section one more time. And to move on to the next section, we just pluck the A string and D string, move to what's kind of like an AC/DC A chord. I just bar it with my first finger. We really want to fret the 2nd fret, the 2nd fret, and the open string. So that's the 2nd fret, open string. And then the next note is we play the A note here on the G string again. The melody that the melodic interpretation, if you will, that I have chosen here is a little bit different than the Simon and Garfunkel version, but I quite like the way that these notes fall. So if you're very familiar with the Simon and Garfunkel version, you will notice a difference here, but I'm sticking with my way. Right, so let me just play that again from the section we're on, just so we kind of get our bearings. So we get to here, then we pluck the A string and the D string. Then we land on the AC/DC-ish A chord. So the way that I execute that is we've got our AC/DC chord and the melody note comes here. Right, so we have to pick the G string fretted on the 2nd fret, just like that. Then we move to the D string and we do a little hammer or pull off A, picked, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. The one I'm favouring is that one there, which is the first one is a hammer on, is a pull off, and the open D string is picked. Then back to the 2nd fret, and then we end on this 5th fret is fretted, 4th fret is fretted. From there we play a D chord. I'm going to play the top 4 strings now. I want the bass note there. Then we play a chord which would be called D major 7. And it looks like that. 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 2nd fret. And then we play D7 chord, which is like a back to front D chord. 2nd fret, 1st fret, 2nd fret. Now the melody comes on this note here, 2nd fret of the G string, and then it jumps to the 2nd fret of the E string. Then we release that E string to an open string. Then we're ready for the next section. So I'll play it from the AC/DC chord there. And then we've got a D, D major 7, D7. We land on this version of a G chord. So we need to fret the 3rd fret, we need to fret the 3rd fret, we're playing E string, we're playing open D, open G, and we're playing the fretted B string. The next chord is open string, E, fretted G string, open string, open string. That's what I'm plucking. So I'm plucking the E string, G string, B string, and top E string. The next chord is like an A chord. You can't just play a full A chord if you want, but we're not going to play the D string, so we don't really need to fret it. 2nd fret G string, 2nd fret B string. We play an open A, and we play an open E. So let's see what those 3 chords sound like together. Just like that. And then we go back to this D7 chord. And the melody note is within the chord. Out of focus. The melody note is within the chord there. But it drops to the open D. Then we've got this 3rd fret, open D, open G chord. Now this is when it gets a little bit tricky, right? So before we embark on this, on the tricky rapids, let's just go through this rather less difficult section. In fact, I'll take it from here. Then we pluck the 4 and the 2, AC/DC chord. Back to here, and then we've got our D, D major 7, D7, and the melody starting on this note here, going to this note here, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, oh, I made a bit of a mess of that. So this is now when we're going into the recognisable Bridge Over Troubled Water lyrical part. I'll take it from these chords. Right, now, so keep your eyes peeled, because the melody note now moves to the 2nd fret, then the melody note drops to an open string, open B string, but what we do is we do a little upside down power chord here. I'll try and get my fingers out of the way so you can see it. So I'm doing the 2nd fret of the the 1st fret of the G string, 3rd fret of the D string. Okay, this really jarring, it's kind of like a sort of diminished chord. And then the cool thing is you just slide that up, which makes for an easy chord change. So we're now on the 2nd fret and the 4th fret. And what you want to play is you want to play all 4 strings, all 4 middle strings, A, D, G, B. B is the melody note. But can you hear how I came off that B string and plucked the 2nd fret of the G string quite quickly? Oh. That's how it should sound. So that's troubled. So let's just do that again from the beginning. So we've got all the 3s. 2nd fret. Upside down power chordy thing. Oh, can you see that? And then you slide that up. Now the next chord shape is like a power chord. So we've got 2nd fret, we've got 4th fret, alrighty, and then we barry across because that's the melody note. The melody note is the second fret of the G string. I'll do that again. I'm going to talk my way through it. So we've got we've got the third fret, the open string, the open string. Melody note is the second fret on the B string. Then I've got this kind of upside down power chord. Now we slide that power chord up and we play four strings, four middle strings, dot, 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 dot. And we have to quickly do that little double, well, it's not a double pick, it's two picks in quick succession. Like that, that's trebled. Then we make a power chord shape here, second fret, fourth fret, like that. One more time. And the fret positions we need, third fret, we play that on its own, third fret E string. Then we play the open D, G and B. Then we play the melody note on the third fret of the B string. Then we play this chord shape here, which is 4, 3, 2, like that. It's like your common or garden 4-finger barry chord, except you need the open E string for the melody note. So don't do your double stop. No, we need the open E string. That's it there. Open E string, and then we do the double stop because we need to fret the second fret of the E string. So once again, it looks like open E string. Oh dear, that was an open E string and an open B string by mistake. I'll start again. Double stop. You're not really seeing that double stop clearly, but it's just, you just basically rock your finger down to cover that second fret. Just like that. From there we land on a B minor shape. And the melody note is right here. Third fret, D string. Oh dear, I wish my camera would stay in focus. So that section sounds like. And then we return to a D7 chord. The melody note is again in the second fret here, which we release to the open E. And this repeats itself. We've got our third fret on the E string, third fret on the B string. Then we second fret, little upside down power chord, first fret, third fret, slide that power chord up, play the four middle strings, do your quick melody pick, just like that, and then power chord here. And this is almost the same except it ends on a different chord. Third fret, this is like an A7. We're playing the open A, we're playing the open G, we're playing the second fret here, we're playing the open A. Melody note, second fret. And I then play fourth fret, second fret, third fret, which is an inversion of a D chord. Then I play a normal D chord. And then open B, open D, G and B, and then open G, B, third fret fretted, back to this chord position here. D chord, pick up the D chord. I'm just picking the D chord from the D down, just like that. Open, dot, 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 and then playing the top three strings only. play that round 3 or 4 times and end on that. So there you go. I hope that wasn't too fast. I hope it wasn't too rushed. Hope it wasn't too confusing. Any questions, please put them in the comments, and I hope you enjoy learning this song.